All right, Mary Ann, you want to call the roll, please?
Mr. Gritchen?
Here.
Ms. Ruska?
Here.
Dr. King? Mr. Moon?
Here.
Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mr. Welch?
Here.
Mr. Cindy?
Here. Okay, before our next item is information items on our agenda, student and staff recognitions.
We have 2 recognitions today. First of all, for fine arts, we have Camper of the Week Scholarship, Lawrence University out of Appleton, Wisconsin, and that is Anna Mendez.
Look at the camera. Okay. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Anna, do you want to give us a brief summary of what happened at the camp or what you were being recognized for? Sure.
The camp is based in Appleton. It's a week-long band camp, and it's for anyone that lives in Wisconsin, Illinois, or Michigan. And I was awarded because they thought I had strong work quality, and I, as Ms. Bilesma would say, I had followed the 6 pillars of character. So.
Very good. They thought, or do you think?
Probably both.
All right, good job. Way to believe in yourself.
Anna,
Congratulations.
would you explain that because you won this award, what you get to offer to another student?
Oh, as well as I receiving a scholarship for next year, another student in the RBHS band program receives a scholarship for them to go to that camp. Oh. And last year's tuition was $579, I believe, so the scholarships in total are over $1,200.
Great job, Anna.
Thank you.
Our staff recognition tonight was the American Association of School Librarians Association, and that was Alicia Duell. She had the presentation of 7 things to chew on for staff development. Alicia sent a letter. She has family visiting from out of town, so she will not be able to join us tonight. But Pam, do you want to touch on this, or should we?
This is Alicia's creativity on instructional technology coming to bear. She came up with 17 individual things that teachers can do to bring technology alive in the classroom. It's using Web 2.0 tools and all the latest gadgets that you can bring to bear in order to increase student engagement and kind of enrich and deepen student learning and understanding. And it was so widely accepted here. It was a professional development over the past few years where a number of teachers went through the process. It was pretty rigorous to get through all 17 strategies, and you had to put them to use and show that you were using them in the classroom, so you just couldn't learn about them, but you had to actually implement them. Not all teachers were able to finish it. Some finished it, and then some went on the next year to continue it, and then we even had a second wave of it, an advanced lesson for a number of the teachers. And it was so popular that she put in to present at a conference, and it was very well received at a national conference. So we're very proud of her for her leadership in this area.
Alicia does a great job for us, and we are proud of her at the district level and the board. I will make sure that she receives the board certificate.
Okay, our next item is the Student Association report.
Alright, well, we've done a lot since we last met last month. Alright, so as you know, one of our main goals this year as the Student Association Executive Board is to improve school spirit. So we started doing an event called Spirit Fridays where we go into 2 random classrooms. We do it once a month. And we award students who are wearing RB apparel a prize and enter them into a drawing to win Spirit t-shirts at the end of each semester. So last month we did our first Spirit Friday event, and we entered Mr. Beasley's classroom and Ms. Bartleson's 5th hour classroom, and over half of the students in both classrooms were wearing RB apparel. So it showed a major improvement in school spirit, just all around wearing blue and white on Fridays, which is our goal for the school. So. And this Friday will be our second Spirit Friday. Okay. And a few weeks ago, there was a fundraiser for Exceptionally Evan, which is this kid in Brookfield who's suffering, who's an 8th grader at SC Gross, who's suffering from a brain tumor. And we had the banner and stuff at school for the kids to sign who wanted to give support. And it was like a 20-foot long banner, and the whole banner was covered in signatures, like there was not a spot open, which is nice. And yeah, and
during homecoming week, we had a penny pinch, which is basically a competition between the different grade levels. Like the pennies are worth positive points, and so you put pennies in the junior bucket if you wanted the juniors to win. But then, let's say you wanted the seniors to get negative points, you would put in dollars or silver coins. And so we raised about $600, and those funds went to Evans Foundation. And so we thought it was pretty cool to see how the students, like, we signed a banner, and then a week later they were able to donate some money to that cause.
Who won the penny pinch?
Seniors.
Seniors, okay. Was it a fix?
And then also, homecoming week was last week, or 2 weeks ago. And Tuesday was Powder Puff, and NHS kind of took charge of that, and it went really well. There were no injuries, I don't think.
They raised over $1,000 for Evan St. Paul.
And on Wednesday, we had an essay meeting, and like kind of told everybody the plan for the rest of the week and got them excited to promote school spirit. And Thursday was the variety show, and we had a really good turnout for that. There was a huge audience and a lot of participation within the different acts. And we had a pep assembly on Friday, which went really well. We tried some new activities and had lots of participation. And Saturday was the dance, and there was very high attendance and lots of positive comments from the students.
So Emily, do you want to tell them who won the frozen t-shirt contest? Trying to take a balled up frozen t-shirt and defrost it enough to put it on. Who won that one?
My brother.
And what grade is he in?
He's a freshman.
Okay, just trying to balance this.
All right, and then SA is also working with an organization called ProC, where we go downtown and tutor underprivileged children whatever area they need, whether it be revising an essay, helping them with a research project, or helping them with math. So we've been doing that for the past couple of Sundays. We have a group of 4 or 5, and we can help with all ages, whether it be 2 weekends ago, some girl worked with newborns, while me and 3 others worked with kids like that were in high school, our age, and we helped them with their essays. And we're also going to have a holiday party with them. Like last year we did it. We raised money to buy them basically Christmas presents, because since they're living in the shelter, they usually don't get any. So we raised enough money to buy them presents, and then we go down and work a holiday party where we play games and have gifts and just like have fun with them, because like it's the holidays and we like feel everyone should be happy and participate and stuff like that. So we've been doing that, and we're probably going to have another one towards the end of December. And, yeah,
Also, next week we're having a blood drive next Wednesday. You all are welcome to come donate blood. But we're going to have 2 blood drives instead of 3 this year. And our goal is to get over 100 donors at each, so that way we get scholarship money from Life Source for kids at the school. And then also we're going to have a public code that parents can go to different Life Source locations and donate blood like throughout the next week, and we'll still get the points for our school. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is the superintendent's report.
Not too much to report on. I thought this was my first one coming as the member of the Riverside Brookfield High School District, and I thought it was a very positive experience. I thought the students and staff really got involved in the activities and the spirit, which is great for a high school. It was very positive to see So I thought Pam's administration and the sponsors and the students did a great job with the homecoming week. We had a full slate of committee meetings, or excuse me, council meetings this month. I met with all 5 advisory councils, and we'll share reporting out tonight on some important topics and discussions that occurred. And have 2 more departments to meet with, and then I will have met with each individual department of teachers and had more personalized discussions with them as department level to talk about my goals as a superintendent, to answer some of their questions regarding the direction of the district and some of the financial issues we're facing. So, and some of that will be reported out as we continue to move on tonight with the advisory council reports.
Okay, any questions for Kevin? Seeing none, Pam? Principal's report?
Well, I'm happy to announce, if you don't already know it, that the website went live, the new website, on Friday, October 15th. So we've had a lot of positive feedback from that. It's been very well received so far. There were no hitches in moving over to the new web address. The next stages in this will be to have the teachers move their content on their personal teacher sites to either move it over if it's compatible with the new site, or rebuild it if it's built in an older format. And so we're going to be working with them and the next Institute Day to give them time to do that, and training people on how to get that accomplished. So I really want to take this time to thank Alicia Duell, who we recognized earlier in this meeting for her national presentation, for taking the leadership. She started this last year as her administrative project while she was getting her master's, and continued it this year in her role as the webmaster, and has really spirited it through with a great deal of energy and enthusiasm and creativity. And Nick Gale, the Fine Arts and Applied Arts Department Chair, who stepped up and assisted her in that, and Dan Manikoff also, who is an English teacher and also an instructional technology leader in the building for us, and they did an incredible amount of work to get this up as fast. When I presented it to you the last time and said we'd have it up by October, I kind of gulped, and but we made it happen. So I think I hope that you're pleased with it. The idea is to increase and improve communication for all stakeholders, and we are open to feedback, and it gets updated daily. So. Your feedback on that would be welcome. Parent-teacher conferences were held last Thursday. We had a really good turnout, a little bit lighter in the afternoon than usual, but I haven't got all the numbers tallied and to compare to previous years, but the evening was very, very well attended, and I received a lot of positive comments from parents. They liked the structure of it in the one setting, so they don't have to lose a lot of time traveling around a building, and felt the teachers were prepared, and they got good feedback on how to assist their students. We recently received some recognition for our yearbook, the Rouser, and I'm sure we'll bring Sharice Lopez and her students before the board for their certificates, but we're incredibly excited that we got a plaque and from the National Scholastic Press Association as a second-class ranking for their critique. It's very competitive, and that is an impressive honor ranking. And more impressive yet, we took first place overall in the 2011 yearbook competition for the Kettle Moraine Press Association. So last year's yearbook was just exemplary. I don't know if you got a chance to see it or not, but it's really a beautiful book. If our Oscar were here, he'd be celebrating the fact that we've had some wonderful victories recently on boys soccer, and the cross-country team also won the regional titles this past Saturday. Tomorrow night we will have our boys in the sectional soccer meet here. They'll be playing against St. Joseph here at 6 p.m. And then right now, I don't know how they're doing or if it's over, the girls volleyball is playing their regional against Lamont at Nazareth. Boys and girls cross country have sectionals this weekend at Niles West. 12:30 for the girls, 1:30 for the boys, and girls swimming have an independent conference meet at DeKalb on Saturday. So we're winding up our fall season, if you can believe it already, and the kids have had a lot of success. So thanks to the coaches and parents for supporting them. I presented to the Patrons Council on October 3rd on character counts and social emotional learning and what we're doing in the school. That was very well received, and asked for their collaboration and participating with us as we move into year 2. We had Dr. Gary Smith. He's an international character counts trainer, and he was here on Friday during Institute Day and did a 2.5-hour training for our staff, and is actually here 3 days this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, doing a 3-day national seminar. We have people from 5 states who are in our building who are getting trained like we had last year. So we're hosting that again, and 2 of our teachers are participating in that. And Neil DeGetti is acting as our host for that event. We need to have somebody on site to do that. And the people who are visiting from other schools have continued to comment about the maturity and of the students and how well they behave in the hall, and what is it that we're doing here that has got the behavior to that level. And they're noticing the students and how quietly they move through the halls and how quickly they get to class. And we've been really aggressively trying to respond to tardiness and those kinds of things. So it's nice to have outside people notice that. Just as we're going to give you data at the semester, but I just thought I'd let you know that we have more than 950 fewer tardies first quarter than we had last quarter at this time, first semester last year. So the dean's office and assistant principal that have been working hard on that with security really had an impact. And last year at this time, we would have had 6 fights, and we've had none this year. So the students and parents have talked about how the environment is feeling really, really positive. Just wanted you to know that as a final note, that the GSA spearheaded our first Megan Meyer Day, which that was last Monday. That honored recognized the 5th anniversary of the suicide of Megan Meyer due to cyberbullying, and that was Tina Meyer's daughter. Tina is the national speaker that we had here last year to talk about how students need to avoid bullying and cyberbullying. So our students, we were sent a message that for 5th anniversary they were inviting students to pause in schools, to pause and recognize this problem and ask students to make a pledge to treat each other with respect. So our students came up with the idea of cutting ribbons, black and white ribbons, to make the bows, and to pin those on, and they made those available to students, and they wrote a very nice announcement. By the first few periods of the day, all ribbons, that there were just mounds of these spools of ribbon that they had cleared out of one of the fabric stores. All the ribbons were taken up by our students, and it was very nice. We heard back, we sent some pictures to Tina Meyer, and one of which was, if you noticed, the marquee had a message on it to honor Megan Meyer Day and stop cyberbullying, and the student leaders took a picture with their sponsor, and we sent that to Tina. And she got it a few days later because she had taken some time off with her family due to the anniversary of the death. And she said this, I would like to read it so the students and the community are aware. It was so wonderful to hear from you and to hear and see all the amazing things your school and students are doing. I was truly touched. I would love to come back to your school this spring. Please let your students and staff know how much my family, we appreciate their kindness, Tina. So it's a really wonderful relationship we're building. We are going to bring her back and have her talk to our students and staff again this spring. So,
any questions for Pam?
I do, Pam. The number you threw out for the tardies is 510. Compared to what, and what's the percentage decrease?
Well, I just gave you the raw number. We'll give you all the percentages when we give the report. We've broken it out by period, Dr. King, and then overall. And so I don't have all the specific details, just wanted to let you know that it is a significant decrease. And we'll give you that report in the near future.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Yeah, I have a comment. Are we able to put the story and the letter back up on the website as kind of like a news press or release?
On the Megan Meyer Day?
Yeah, and especially a picture of all the ribbons?
It actually is. We have only one picture up there now, but we did put that up the very day we had it.
Okay.
I sent the pictures to Nick, and he posted them on the news feed.
Oh, good.
So it did get up there, but thank you for thinking of that.
Anything else? Okay, our next item is the department report, Dean's Office residency.
Mr. Passarella was unable to be here, but I'd be happy to present this since I'm a part of residency as well.
Okay.
So what you have in front of you is the memo from Mr. Passarella, the criteria for initiating investigations, the fee structure, and a list of cases current and from 2010-11 school year that have either gone through hearing or parents removed their children from the district once the office has determined them non-residents. I asked this month for the Dean's Office and Pam to report on residency because when I was the superintendent in waiting at the end of last school year, the board was discussing residency and discussing a few residency hearings, and I just wanted to provide the follow-up some of the changes that have been made at the overall registration process or the residency process where students register for the next school year and they have to prove residency. And we've implemented a few additional requirements. And Pam, if you want to touch on that a little bit in regards to the data on the third page of the report that the board has.
Certainly. Well, we've given you, as Dr. Skinkus mentioned, the top of the report gives you the cases from last year. And then that middle section were cases that people that withdrew their students. And you can see there are 12 students who didn't return again this year because they couldn't provide documentation or because they were moving to a different area. We're not entirely sure, but they went to neighboring schools. We had more students than that withdraw from the school and go elsewhere, but these are the ones that went to the neighboring schools compared to 3 in the previous year. So one of the changes that we had, if you recall, is that we asked if you were living with another family, that family had to come in and sign the paperwork in person with us. You couldn't just submit it. And so requiring people that when families were not, when you were not the lease owner or the homeowner yourself, but you were living with another family, then it was that other person had to come in and then prove, they had to prove their residency and sign that you were living with them. That seems to be one of the changes that you could correlate with the increase in students not returning. We're not sure. But that was one of them. The rest were those on the forms, just clarifying, making it maybe a little clearer to people that it is a Class C misdemeanor, and what the school would do if they weren't able to prove residency and or were fraudulent. The residency cases right now, because there were a few that started right at the beginning, and as you can see at the bottom, there are a couple that have already withdrawn. At this case, and you have all the information on that, how those resolved.
Do you have any more pending right now?
We do have a few that we are monitoring. We bring that information to Dr. Skinkus so that he's aware of why those people have come on our radar screen, so to speak, and we're making sure that we're following his lead on the ones that he wants us to continue following up on. And in the situation with the last one listed on here, that person did move into district. When they couldn't provide what we needed, they then moved in. So we feel that we're really moving in a positive direction and getting results. So trying to be good stewards of the taxpayer money by making sure that the students who attend here are actual residents. Yes, Mr. Lee.
Have there been any additional homeless claims?
Homelessness is up a bit.
That's not on here, though.
That is not on
different
here.
section.
It's a totally different situation. If a student is homeless, other protections go into play.
Yeah. Well, you're going to report on that, or is that an adjunct?
Certainly, we could report on the number of homeless.
But is it about the same as last year?
Well, we're continuing with a number of students who were homeless last year.
Yeah.
They are continuing. They have 18 months from the determination of homeless that you would continue to give them services and protect them. So we've had a few more surface this year, yes.
Well, yeah, not to be hard-hearted sounding about it, but it seems to be the latest wrinkle in admissions tactics. As I recall, that there were some issues among some of them. I just wondered if there was any increase, but it sounds like it's pretty much the same as last year.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I don't think, we have not seen the real influx of, you know, like a large number. I think it's what schools are experiencing everywhere with the economy. There's just an increase across the nation, and I think we would be proportionate. I don't think it's anything that would be,
okay,
you know, extreme.
Okay.
Any other questions for Pam?
I have two questions. The first one is, it seems even though we haven't had hearings, compared to the ones last year, the cost is a lot lower. Is there a reason?
Because they're resolving quicker.
Okay.
I think because the paperwork that we required was so stringent on the front end that, you know, I think that we just followed up more quickly.
Okay.
And I think that last year we were overwhelmed and trying to, it was my first year, we were adjusting some of the processes, and so it just took a little bit more time to probably hit our stride and really get into who we were going to be investigating and in what order. So I think we just basically had our process down this year.
The second thing is, we talked about pursuing litigation against people. Are we still thinking of pursuing that, of people that, you know, we incurred costs or didn't, we send them a notice once they're adjudicated, that, or even if they voluntarily, I guess, are out of the district, and send them a tuition bill, but after that we've not done anything. We've had discussions about hiring a attorney to, maybe on a contingency basis, to pursue these cases. Do you know if we're still considering?
I'll let Dr. Snuffles talk.
Yeah, I've been in consultation with Todd on that, and we're looking at that. Probably the next step that we're going to put in place prior to that is we're going to start turning some of this stuff over to collections and see if we can recoup some of those funds in that tuition prior to getting more fees on top of for the legal fees of pursuing the tuition. Todd had limited experience. Limited success rate on that.
I talked to him before, but there are, I did talk to a couple firms, and there are some that would take the collection and litigation on a contingency basis. So there'd be no upfront cost to the district, only if they collected something, you know, we'd pay them a
pro bono
commission, basically.
Can you get him a list, in that list?
I could.
Could you?
Yeah.
So we'll get you a list. Okay.
One thing we might want to think about is when they actually sign up, and I thought there might have been some language, Tim, you may have looked at, about they'd be responsible for payment. I don't recall what it said, but maybe we need to look at that for next year. The language in that, you know, the letter that goes out saying what documentation we need.
We can look at that. With the forms we are using currently for residency have been drafted by our legal counsel to ensure that we are in alignment with the school code, as well as being as stringent as possible to enforce residency. So, if I'm not mistaken, Pam, correct, those were all drafted by?
Yeah.
So, I more or less wanted to show you, I think we're making some significant progress in this area of families not being able to register until they can thoroughly prove that they are residents of the district. So I just wanted to highlight that for you this month.
In the one case where you have the asterisk, the third line listed in this current year, at what point did they move into the district? Prior to school starting or after school starting?
No, after school started.
So what happens to the time period from the first day of school until the such point in time where they actually move in the district? Is there a fee associated with that for them?
Well, that's the letter that is sent out that tells them that we maintain that they are not residents of the district and that they would owe us X amount of money, but they can request a hearing if they want. And so, you know, that started the process with this family in terms of moving in. So,
and due to confidentiality, we probably should make sure we don't go into too many specifics on the individual case.
Yeah.
Right.
But that one was there are some more particular circumstances with that case that we could discuss at a later date.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, just a comment. Had these 12 all been here, this translates into real money, over $100,000 that the community has saved, if we look at per student tuition. So I think it's good work, you know, John and his staff.
Thank you, I'll share that with them.
Okay.
Thanks, man.